All right, Coach. We're here with Gilmer High School's own Sam Snider, who has won his 13th state title, is winning the state traditional. Coach, you've obviously had a lot of success. You've won 13 state titles since 2005. You had 4 state champions this year, 5 finalists. Talk a little bit about what this one means and in its totality, all the state titles that you've won so far.
This one means a lot because we really, you probably already know, we bumped up the schedule and we faced the best that we could possibly face. And it prepared us for today. Our seniors, we talked to them about leading, they did a good job in leading. And as they led, it helped 2 sophomores to win state, as you saw at 106 and 113. And so I think the example of hard work and attacking mentality really paid off today. I was very proud of all of them. We had 8 people place, and 7 of the 8 won the last match. And at 132, you had 2 state champions going at it. We knew there was going to be a war, and it's such a great match to watch. So, and then put in perspective, this one's fun. It looked close, and then we pulled away, and it was exciting.
Now, Coach, obviously in traditional, you don't go head-to-head with teams, but it looks like you beat Cass, and I say it with air quotes because it looks like they're going to finish second. You have a little bit of rivalry with Cass and Alexander. Talk a little bit about the satisfaction. Obviously, you're satisfied winning it, but when you beat your rivals in doing so.
Right, and a lot of the matches, I think 15 of the 28 finalists were from our region that Cass is in. The top 2 teams in the state are from our region. We've been doing this since 2005. I mean, it keeps being the same region produces state champion, state runner-up. It's been a good rivalry. It's a respectful rivalry. They have done a great job preparing their kids for this weekend, and as we all did with the snowy days, it's been a struggle because kids being an extra week and having to maintain weight. The Alexander rivalry, I don't know if they'll continue next year because I think Cass and Alexander are going up to 5A. But it's been fun, and they've got a great team. They're going to keep doing well.
Now, speaking of those two teams moving up to 5A, what teams are you looking at now? I know Buford is coming up to 4A. They won the state duels. They may be in the midst of winning the traditional right now. What teams that you're looking forward to, or maybe a little, now I don't want to say worried, but you have your eye on about facing next year?
Well, when we graduate 12 seniors and 7 of them are starters for us, we are concerned about how we're going to, be competitive as a team next year. But I think that Buford is the biggest one since they're state champions. They don't graduate very many people, very young team. We have a lot of good youth, and we're excited about that. But the others, I think, is going to be like Lumpkin. Lumpkin has came up the ranks and doing it right. They got a great middle school program. West Lawrence is always going to be tough. As you notice, they ran a great tournament. 4 days notice, pull this off is great. Coach Bland needs to be commended. And then just teams in our region. Heritage is going to continue to be tough, Southeast Whitfield. But across the state, I say West Lawrence and Lumpkin have caught my eye as good as they are.
I'm glad you actually brought up the scramble drill, or so to speak, to get this all done within a week's notice. Obviously, it was supposed to be at Gwinnett. You can't find a place to hold all the wrestlers, so everybody's in a different location. Talk a little bit about how you were able to keep your guys focused, and obviously all the coaches here had to deal with that. But just talk a little bit about, just maybe a week ago, not even knowing where you were going to be at the state title, and having to come down here, and just talk a little bit about that.
Well, 3 days we had the winter break, so they had to come in, even though they were out of school, they came in and practice. And I thought it was just us that was struggling to have them drill and work at the level we normally work at. But every coach here dealt with that, so it was tough. I don't know how much pressure was on West Lawrence to get it all in, but they did a fantastic job, like I said, of getting it in. And the level of competition didn't seem any less than if it had been a week ago. I felt like we had great matches from the quarters on. And I personally like the gymnasium spotlight on 2 kids. I love that. The crowd going nuts. I know a lot of people love Gwinnett better, but I love how much emphasis was on those kids that were wrestling right here.
All right, now, Coach, I have ignored the elephant in the room all season. People have asked me about it, but I didn't want to take away from what you guys were trying to accomplish. But now that the season is over, you've won a 13th state title. I always have to emphasize that because that's an amazing feat, and you did it all while actively running for the state House of Representatives. Coach, how can you continue to win state titles or compete for state titles and actively run for office?
Well, thankfully, when I win that race, it'll be 3 months, 40 days, and it's after state duels. There may be some crossover that occurs, so it would affect me some after state duels next year. But the campaign for me is now till May 20th, so it won't affect my summer work. Won't affect any fall preparation, and it is meant to be a part-time job of representing. And I'm at 28 years of teaching and coaching, so the time that I'm going to be effective is limited. How many more years at 50 years old I will be able to be an effective coach, and we've got great coaches to step in. We just hope to continue to build, and we'll see what happens. But we've kept, like you said, we've kept it out of the spotlight, because what was important now is finishing this race, which was the state championship in wrestling, and we don't talk about it very much at all. I talk about it because I've been campaigning after practice.
Right.
But it's not the emphasis. The emphasis is these kids, and that's what we're working toward.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much, and congratulations.
Appreciate it.